Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Now, what is the latest relating to the accidents that has come out of the press conference so far?
Benjamin Edu. What I can tell you for now is that management of protocol has briefed the media and also confirmed the death of the assistant equipment officer of the club, and they've also officially informed the family of the guy as what happened yesterday. So for now, medical director of the Kumasi Asante protocol, Michael Lee, also briefed us in the situation at come at the moment, and he also said that they don't know when the team will be returning to pitch, but they are still monitoring the players. But I have with me here a member of the protocol management team, Mr. Ulla, to throw more light on what happened yesterday and then the plans they put in place to sustain this situation.
Now, can you give us an update on the state of Coach Steve Pollack and the team manager, Gordon Ablode?
Thank you very much. Coach Stephen Pollack was taken to the theater about 1 hour, 20 minutes ago. We've been told he will spend about 4 hours at the theater. Gordon Ablode also left the Confanoche Teaching Hospital about 3 hours ago in a wheelchair. He is under close observation by the medical team of Asante Kotoko and the doctor in charge at Confanoche. For now, for the players, it's only Ole Inuashiti who is being admitted at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital. The others are also under close observation. They've been treated and discharged. We are also waiting for our driver, Nana Beche, who is expected to be taken to the theater in a few moments' time.
But what is happening at the press conference at the moment? I mean, what is the mood there like?
We are in a sober mood. The GACA chairman and the other executives are here. The FE executives were also with us at Confanoche since last night till the morning. And we are just addressing the media, telling them about official information related to the family of Thomas Kofiasari. Assistant equipment officer unfortunately passed away. We've also informed the family members of some of the players who were seriously injured. Others rushed to the Confanoche Teaching Hospital when they heard about the news. So we've been telling the media to be circumspect and also take away the additional trauma that they've been adding to the current situation by sharing pictures from the accident scene and other things which will go in a long way to affect the players and other officials negatively. That's exactly what we've been telling the media, and also thanking the volunteers who came to the Confanoche Teaching Hospital, as well as the medical personnel who've been behind us and helping us to treat the injured.
Thank you very much, Thomas.
Thank you.
Also, you heard Thomas Boachide, who's an official from the club currently at the press conference. But the regional minister, the Ashanti regional minister, visited the victims at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital.
We pray to the Almighty Father that nobody should lose his life again, apart from the one that has already lost his life. At the moment, the Regional Coordinating Council and the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly each has donated 5,000. We are going to foot the bill that will follow suit to ensure that we don't leave any expenditure for the team. Already we know that the team is going through several difficult financial situations, and we cannot burden them with such huge financial cost that is going to occur. So we are going to foot the bill, at least as a relief and as encouragement and support for the team. And we pray that the team should get over whatever has happened and continue on with the rest of the matches left for the end of the season. It's difficult, it's not going to be easy. Where we pray that the Almighty God will give them the strength, the courage, and the endurance to go ahead and fight harder.
Well, that was the Ashanti Regional Minister there, but we are still working to bring you the press conference from Kumasi, and we'll do that in our subsequent bulletins. But away from that, to the Ghana Premier League table, where Wafa are still on top of the league table with 43 points, well away from the rest. Yesterday, Diana Stars lost their game, so they are below them on 40 points. Accra Hearts of Oak are close behind with 36 points. Kumasi Asante Kotoko on 35 points. Bichim United, last season's FA Cup winners, are on 29 points in 8th place. Ebusua Dwarfs have had a good run so far, 7th place on 31 points. Now that's how the bottom half of the table looks. While All Stars, the former champions, are there on 28 points in 9th place. Bolga All Stars, Great Olympics and Tema Youth, the new entrants this season, occupy the 14th, 15th and 16th places respectively. Tema Youth on 25 points, Great Olympics on 23 and Bolga All Stars with a meager 12 points. Ashanti Gold are now 10th after flirting with relegation for a very long time this season. They are out and they are comfortably on the 10th position on 28 points. Now this story will rock you. A Ghanaian footballer, Solomon Nyantechi, who is highly talented, has been arrested in Italy for the alleged murder of his mother and sister on Tuesday night in the city of Parma. Now he was arrested by the police while on an escape route in Milan on Wednesday morning as the security forces chased him for allegedly murdering his mother, Patience Infum, and little sister, Magdalene Nyantechi, who is just 11 years old, who all live in Italy. Now the suspect's elder brother, Raymond Nyantechi, returned home from work around 9 p.m. on Tuesday to discover the gruesome murder. Solomon was touted as one of the rising stars of Italian football as he flourished in the youth system of Parma, winning several trophies with them. We'll definitely bring you more details because we are monitoring the issues, and we'll bring you more developments on this story. Now in tennis, the Wimbledon tournament nears its final and some of the mighty have fallen. Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic and defending champion Andy Murray have all exited the tournament. Only 4 men are remaining in the Wimbledon now, and the semi-final pairings will see Roger Federer face 11th seed Thomas Berdych, while Marin Cilic will also meet Sam Querrey. Now for Querrey, it will be the first time since 2009 an American will play in the Wimbledon semi-finals and he will bid to make the final. Now he might face Federer, who is the favorite to move on from the other semi-final. Thomas Berdych also went past Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinals to make the semis. That's all the sports here on Midday Live. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Midday Live continues.
An HD combo decoder from StarTimes.
Cool! StarTimes HD combo decoder.
StarTimes is giving away free decoders to all new subscribers. Simply prepay 2-month Super Bouquet subscription and get an HD combo decoder for free. Get yours now at all StarTimes dealer shops and enjoy the best entertainment from over 100 international and local channels. StarTimes, change your...
When the news breaks, reporters and anchors broadcast it. Analysts will talk about the impact of this on society. But current affairs will set the agenda for policymakers to implement it. This is what we do on Agenda. It's sharp, authentic, and hard-hitting. My name is Deborah Kwabla. Join us as we set the agenda.
Agenda now shows on Sundays at 3 p.m. only on TV3 and is supported by 3FM 92.7 Accra.
Everything you need to know. Captivating. Reliable, credible, and breaking news. All at your fingertips.
Who's found Asamoah Gyan? Super finish!
Being on top of the news has never been easy. Visit us at www.3news.com for all your reliable news. 3 News, news at your fingertips.
Business, the heartbeat of every economy. The booze and the chairs of the stock market shows who's making profit and who's crumbling under the harsh business environment. On Business Focus, we crowd out the noise for you to make informed decisions on your investment. I'm Palkusi Asare and I talk business.
Business Focus shows this and every Monday at 6 p.m. and is brought to you by Vodafone, power to you, and supported by 3FM 92.7 in Accra and 3news.com.
Thanks for staying. We have one of our headline stories. In the KMA Circuit Court presided over by Her Honor Mary Century has adjourned the case involving the 13 members of the Delta Force to August 8, 2017. This was after the judge was informed that the prosecutor, ACP Ochredako, is on leave. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar spoke with the counsel for the Delta Force members. Matthew Apia.
The officer prosecuting the case was absent, and the one who came to represent the prosecution indicated that the officer has gone on leave, so he will be coming back. But unfortunately, we never heard anything about what has gone on since the day that we took the last agenda date, when the police said we were going to do further investigation. There was no indication. So we will wait for the officer to come. We have adjourned. At the next agenda, we are hoping that whatever has taken place in respect of the investigation, they said, further investigation, they said we're going to do, we will hear something about it.
But would you say you are disappointed today with the prosecutor not being able to make it in the adjournment?
No, we are not disappointed. Or just that we would have been happier if the indication has been given as to what is going on with respect to the further investigation they are conducting. But it's part of the court processes. Sometimes when the officer prosecuting the case is not available, you will be forced to take a date.
Would you say the case in itself has been unduly delayed?
No, under normal circumstances, any criminal case of this nature is not delayed. Yes, it's not delayed, just that we also want to know what is going on. We want to find out the further investigations that they said they are conducting, because we cannot be coming to court every day.
Well, you just heard the counsel for the Delta Force members, Matthew Apia, who is not happy with the way issues are being handled in courts. They are saying they are not being communicated as to what actually is going on. For now, the case has again been adjourned to August 8 because the prosecutor, ACP Ochredako, is on leave. We will keep updating you on our subsequent bulletin as and when this case unfolds. From the KMA court here in Kumasi, Ibrahim Abubakar.
Now to other stories. The University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has given government 2 weeks to pay its book and research allowance and also constitute the university's councils. Now, after its emergency National Executive Council meeting in Accra, UTAG warned that failure of government to comply would disrupt academic work and forestall the upcoming congregation.
The National Executive Council meeting of UTAG, which was held behind closed doors, spanned for 3 hours. Issues discussed included the delay in the payment to the book and research allowance and the constitution of the university councils. It was concluded that government should pay the 2016-2017 book and research allowance and constitute councils within 2 weeks.
There are growing concerns on the campuses of the various public universities, and tensions are mounting. It is instructive to know that a new academic year, the 2017-2018 academic year, is beginning in August 2017, and the demand for its book and research allowances beckons. Accordingly, any further delay will not be countenanced. UTAG is therefore giving government a 2-week ultimatum to have the university's councils in place and also pay the book and research allowances.
Sources at the Ministry of Education indicate the councils will be constituted by next week Friday, July 21.
So still on this very story, I have been joined in the studio by Dr. Harry Agban, who is the National President, UTAG, and we're looking at matters arising. Good afternoon, Doc, and thanks for your time. Now, we're hearing sources close to the Ministry of Education indicate the councils of the various public universities will be constituted by Friday, which is next week, July 21. What have you picked up?
Well, we've also heard something like that. But this is something we've been hearing for the past several months. We hope that this time it is true, but we want to wait until we see the list and then the councils properly constituted.
Meaning you have no faith in what you've heard at all?
Not at all, because we have heard this several times, next week, and it's been almost 7 months now.
And how crucial is the role of these governing councils for the day-to-day administration of public universities?
In fact, the governing councils are the ultimate decision-making bodies of the various universities. In fact, they appoint and disappoint, if there is any word like that, officials of the university. They promote people. They engage in financial dealings on behalf of the university. And in fact, they are also supposed to be around to award degrees and diplomas to our students. So the absence of a council is not good for the running of the institution.
Okay, so let me just hold you there and go on the phone line and speak to Tupla. He's the Public Relations Unit. He is with the Public Relations Unit of the Ministry of Education. Good afternoon, sir, and thanks for your time.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me.
Now, my first question to Dr. Agbanu was that sources at your ministry have indicated that the various councils of public universities will be constituted by Friday, July 21. Is that the case?
Thanks very much. You know, the councils, we've started with the board. Last Tuesday, we inaugurated 4 of them. The delay is from the Flagstaff House. And as and when the list is sent to us, we work on them. Tomorrow, possibly, we might be inaugurating one or another of the councils.
But can you give me a confirmation if indeed they will all be sorted out by Friday, July 21?
I cannot put a figure on that, but hopefully, as and when they come from the Flagstaff House, if all of them come from Flagstaff House, I can assure you from Monday, we will be able to work on almost all.
Another issue that has also come up is the payment of the book and research allowance. What is being done about the matter?
Thanks very much. That is also a concern to the ministry itself. You know, we have made in our various inputs to Ministry of Finance, and then we are waiting the release of funds from their end, which will come any moment. We'll be following up. They will assure that it will come out within the shortest possible time. But people ask us now to tell exactly what time we will receive it.
Because it seems like UTAG is losing faith. I asked Dr. Admanu the same question, and he indicated in the affirmative, because it's always been this week, next week, the following week, and you're also adding that you can't even give a possible time frame when this will be done.
Yeah, no, the Ministry of Finance, a lot of ministries, you know, almost every institution gets the finances from that end. And all of us say the same thing at the same time. You know, so I'm unable as of now to say when, but we've also been making practical to get their books and research allowances paid to them. And hopefully, in soon as they told us, it will be paid.
All right, well, thank you so much. I have been speaking to Tuplaze. He is with the Public Relations Unit of the Ministry of Education. Doc, you heard what he said. First, he mentioned that bit about the first topic we spoke about will be settled by Flagstaffers, which we'll talk about shortly. But let's go to the book and research allowance, which he still cannot give a time frame on when exactly that will be settled.
Yes, that is the issue. In fact, let me use the platform to congratulate the Ministry of Education. They have done whatever they needed to do to make sure that the allowances are paid. The problem is with the Ministry of Finance. They appear not to be in a hurry to pay this money. You go there, we are working on it, we are working every day. The Ghanaian attitude, laxity in the system, I think that is what is causing all of us. People have worked for something, something is due people for the past 1 year, and it's lying on your table, and you are taking forever. It is sometimes disappointing, and excuse my language, it's sometimes annoying that you go there and nobody seems to care.
So when was the last time you interacted with an official from there?
That was last week. That was last week.
And who did you speak to?
One of the children officers, and he was even at a loss. He didn't know what to do. It's like everything is beyond them. It's in the court of the minister or the deputy minister, and they seem not to be worried. You know.
Now, even before I ask you what next, which might be my final question to you, let's go back to what Utupla mentioned regarding the councils, and he pushed the whole issue back to the Flagstaff House. Have you interacted with someone there at the Flagstaff House to look for results, especially because he says that it's not within their purview, even though they work with him?
2 months ago, we were with the president, and these were some of the issues that we discussed. And the assurance we received was that very soon the list will be out, very soon for 2 months. And so it appears once again that there are people who are not worried about the children on which they are put. They have no clue as to what to do, and they will also not ask for direction from anybody. It is unimaginable that in a country like Ghana, we can allow our institutions to run for 7 months without counsel.
So after 2 months, you haven't followed up from the Flagstaff House?
We have no way to follow up.
Okay. Now, what next, finally?
What next is that after the 2 weeks, the National Executive Committee of UTAG will meet to decide on the way forward. I cannot preempt what decision they will make. But once the decision is made, and as the president will implement whatever decision that is made at that meeting.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I have been speaking to the National President, UTAG, Dr. Harry Agbanu. Let's still concentrate on the Education Ministry. And the Minister of Education has directed the newly inaugurated National Accreditation Board to deal ruthlessly with institutions which are awarding degrees without their authorization. Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh is of the view if the board fails to check these institutions, Ghana's degree awarding institutions will not be recognized abroad.
Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh gave the warning during the inauguration of the National Accreditation Board in Accra. He charged the board not to hamper the efforts by private individuals who wish to set up institutions to complement government. He pleaded with the board to make its activities transparent and also consider streamlining admission of students in tertiary institutions.
You go to UK that has over 100 tertiary institutions. They have one admission board. So we have to work in this space to see how government efforts in that area to can be realized.
The sector minister again expressed concern about some institutions which are awarding degrees without authorization from the accreditation board.
I've already had reports of certain universities coming out with degrees that had not been accredited. In this legal regime that we have around the world, if we are not careful, very soon people will be suing universities for giving them degrees that were not accredited.
Board Chairman Professor Awisabo Esare assured to also deal with the massive online courses without the necessary accreditation to operate.
How do we now look at the newly established technical universities to become an outlet? And I think part of it will also come from us as much as from the government.
And former President John Kufuor has admitted Ghana lacks the leadership to develop policies that will transform the country. Making reference to China, Singapore and Malaysia, the former president insisted their developments could not have been possible if they had not discovered visionary leaders during their transformational period.
Into a lecture by an economist and Cambridge Associate Professor Dr. Hajun Chang at the Institute of Economic Affairs in Accra.
Take even the neighboring Malaysia. They needed Mahathir Mohamad. And so around here too, I believe we've got the people. What has been lacking is the leadership that would use public sector, build the public sector, for the public sector to become aware that it should form the infrastructure to move the private sector, which must be overseen, of course, so that at the end of the day, we build the resources for the people at large.
The former president maintained policies are developed and implemented by sincere leaders for the well-being of the people in country and queried Dr. Chang's refusal to touch on Ghana's case.
If you are talking of national development and you do not touch politics, then if it's policy is worked in government, and governments are led. So you must get the leadership with that open-mindedness and with the vision. When policy works like that, it's implemented sincerely for the good of the people, then you are getting transformation for everybody. You mentioned Deng Xiaoping. Suppose he hadn't come on the scene in China.
Dr. Chang insisted he was strategic in avoiding drawing the bar on the role of Ghana's leadership in influencing development because he needed to know and understand the political system in order to make informed arguments.
Democracies are extremely important, but the reason why I didn't go into these issues is, politics is very historically kind of specific and locally contingent. Not knowing much about Ghana at all, I didn't want to presume,
The lecture was at the instance of the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA.
And members of parliament are asking for a national support of the satellite evolution by the All Nations University College. The MPs lauded the innovation by the University College.
Member of Parliament for Kumbungu, Ras Mubarak, and MP for Takwa Insuwem, George Mirekuduka, both made statements on the floor of Parliament on the entry of Ghana's first space satellite into orbit. The MPs commended the students and their partners for the achievement.
As Parliament, we must be seen to be championing this policy direction and shaping who should be the primary agent of state who will harness the information, critical information, which will be developed or received from these satellites that are being launched.
Mr. Speaker, what it does again is to alert us as policymakers, as legislators, to begin to think about how we can create the necessary framework that will support this emerging sector.
How much investment as a country are we making, or do we make, into the study, the teaching, and learning of science and technology in this country? Mr. Speaker, those students, we are celebrating them today, but I believe that they were encouraged by some teachers. They were encouraged because they had the facilities in the university in which they are.
As a nation, as a parliament, let us encourage the students and lecturers at the All Nations University, give them the platform that they require, and also plead with the appropriate ministry, especially environment, science, and technology to quickly identify with what they've done.
An Accra High Court has dismissed an application, that's injunction application filed by 11 LLB students against the impending law school entrance examination. Let's go on the phone line and speak with our reporter, Godfred Tonam, who sat through proceedings. Hello, Godfred. Hello, Godfred.
Hello, Wendy.
Now, what reasons did the judge give?
Now, the plaintiff sought to they told the judge actually that when the exam is conducted, it will be an illegality against what the Supreme Court ruled, and then it is also a situation where that will cause an irreparable damage and chaos to the students. Now, the judge stood on this and then said that the ruling by the court supersedes, the Supreme Court supersedes all individuals and then the High Courts, and then it will be difficult to go against it. And that is when they said that there are certain procedures that are supposed to be put in place to make sure that the exams do not come on. So now, if they allow the exams to go, that means the procedures that the court decided that they should follow might not be followed. So he's saying that it will not cause any irreparable damage and it will not cause any chaos. So because of that, he says that it is he dismissed the case.
Now, will the plaintiff seek a review of the ruling?
Yes, according to the plaintiff's lawyer, there's not going to be a review because the exams is tomorrow, and that is not even the reason. But he believes that the court has ruled, and that is the decision of the court, and they respect the decision of the court.
Well, thank you so much, Godfred Tonam, for that update from the court. We'll have some more on this very story in our subsequent bulletins. Next, we have What Do You Think? It's on the death penalty.
Amnesty International has expressed concern over the increasing numbers on Ghana's death row, even though no executions have been made since 1993. But the death penalty law still exists in our constitution, and this has set the tone for the debate on whether or not it should be completely abolished and expunged from the constitution. What do you also think?
Oh, no, it shouldn't be abolished. It may create more this thing, more sins. Somebody will kill somebody and just go free. So if it is there, fear will by all means come.
Yes, it should be taken off completely. That's what I think. To me, even in the near future, I don't see any of the presidents who feel comfortable to use that law. I don't personally think so.
I think it should be taken out. Yeah, because if I were to be the president, definitely I might, do something like executing some people, because some people deserve to be executed. Yeah, so it should be taken out.
President at all that comes and feels like he wants to use it can implement it, because they are the lawmaking body. Yeah. So if they come and they were like, okay, I want to implement this, I think nothing stopped that president from using it. But if it's there and any president for now, that president wants to take it up, I think it is he ruling.
Yeah, you be here for man kabe. You be here for man kabe boy. Sani de enye say you be ku obi for that death penalty no. Na ye den ye sentence ni pa no more sentences. Now fe suan yansa and na boy yen pa.
You're still watching Midday Live. We have more.
To every story, there's a deeper meaning, a host of angles, which, when reported with the highest ethics of journalism, bring out the perspectives that matters most to you. That's what News 360 is all about. I seek to climb higher, dig deeper, and go further to bring you 360 degrees of the news and what happens thereafter. I'm Natalie Fort. Join me on News 360 every weekday at 7 p.m.
A news
uncovered style,
and professionalism.
must be someone you can trust, someone you can relate to,
Someone you can bond with, and with real experience.
that is who we are.
That is who we are.
That's who we are. That's who we are. Log on to www.3news.com for more news and updates of our major stories. Join us on Facebook 3newsgh for live streaming and comments on our page. Like and follow us on Twitter at 3newsgh and at 3sportsgh. Like our pictures on Instagram, TV3 Network. If you missed our live shows, watch a playback on YouTube, TV3GH. TV3, first in news, best in entertainment.
Let's start with our business stories now. The government has set aside $10 million seed money to boost entrepreneurship and innovation among young people to improve businesses and accelerate economic growth. Launching the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan in Accra, President Akufo-Addo was confident the initiative will reinvigorate the entrepreneurial spirit of Ghanaians.
This seed money should be leveraged to raise money from private sources and public organizations to the tune of $100 million United States dollars to fund its program. The overall objective of this plan is to stimulate private sector growth at the early stages of businesses, to accelerate job creation, and to provide entrepreneurial Ghanaian youth with a critical alternative to salaried employment. It will help their businesses to grow and compete domestically and internationally. The National Entrepreneurship and Innovations Plan will, amongst others, provide tax incentives for startups owned by young entrepreneurs, incentivize and partner private sector investors to set up business incubator hubs and industrial parks for youth-owned businesses nationally. Establish a youth enterprise fund which will be leveraged to attract private capital to fund startups. Provide a ready market for the products and services of startups through the reservation of a percentage of the proposed 70% of local content public procurement contract. Implement a buy local policy for ICT services from youth-owned businesses. Set up an industrial subcontracting exchange to link large industries with small businesses and startups as a supply chain for goods and services.
An associate professor and director at the Center for Development Studies, University of Cambridge, Dr. Han Yong-Chang, has debunked the assertion slow growth of Ghana is as a result of discrimination by the West. He is advocating critical thinking and independent, pragmatic, home-baked policies to speed up growth.
60 years on, Ghana is unable to achieve what many countries have achieved under self-rule. Several factors have been cited by economists as reasons. Senior Minister Yaw Osafo-Mafo's suggestion that Ghana's slow growth is as a result of discrimination from the West seemed to have opened up a heated debate. At an Institute of Economic Affairs lecture on the theme, Destiny or Policy, Development Prospects for Ghana, Osafo-Mafo put the blame of slow development on the West.
Africa was literally avoided during the Cold War. We were really the orphan. And what you need to develop, as you rightly pointed out, is technology and investment. And all this have gone from the West to these countries. And I think the level of investment that has gone to these areas, we may find out that Africa has been in serious difficulty. And we need also to have some godfathers along the line.
An associate professor and director at the Center of Development Studies at Cambridge University, Dr. Ha-Joon Chan, however, disagreed. He insisted South Korea and other developed countries achieved their status through critical thinking and independent, pragmatic, home-baked policies.
Did Americans invest a lot? No, they didn't. Yes? I mean, South Korea and Taiwan had one of the lowest dependence on foreign direct investment of any kind. So that's not correct. And also, one thing that people often forget is being the client state of the U.S. comes with a heavy price tag. So I think I mean, even while I agree with you that that geopolitical conditions played a certain role, I think it's important has been highly exaggerated.
Dr. Hajun Chang urged Ghana to believe that citizens possess the potential and ability to attain their ambitions.
Some more business stories. The Ghana Revenue Authority says it is determined to root out illicit financial inflows. The Commissioner General, Emmanuel Nti, who made this known, said the GRA is collaborating with relevant stakeholders to develop the required competencies to deal with the issue.
Transparency International has revealed global money laundering is costing several governments across the world $2 trillion. In Africa, $50 billion is lost every year through illicit financial inflows, including money laundering, tax evasion, and corruption. In Ghana, the Transfer Pricing Unit of the Ghana Revenue Authority was set up in 2013 to increase the awareness of transfer pricing compliance among Ghanaian taxpayers. According to the Director of the Global Tax Policy Center, Professor Dr. Jeffrey Owens, the key thing in the fight against illicit financial inflows is political will.
Political support right from the top, from the presidents, from the prime ministers of different countries. Yes? Because without that political support, we're not going to be able to address this issue. If we don't address this issue, we are going to undermine the confidence of citizens in government. Yeah?
The Commissioner General of the GRA, Emmanuel Kofi Nti, says the presidency has given its seal of approval to help root out illegal businesses, depriving government of the necessary revenue.
The president and his vice have committed themselves to fight against corruption. As I sit, one of the things that encourages me most is the fact that I have his support. And because of that, people are unable to come in to corrupt me.
Speaking at the conference and capacity building workshop on counter-treaty and transfer pricing abuse, a deputy finance minister, Kweku Kwatin, said government is focused on arming the necessary agencies with the required skills and competencies to address the issue.
Consumer price inflation for June was 12.1%, down from 0.5% from 12.6% recorded in May. Acting government statistician Bawadier attributed the 0.5% decline in inflation rate to the base drift effect in food and non-food inflation.
The Consumer Price Index measures changes over time in the general price level of goods and services that households acquire for consumption. Inflation went down in June by 0.5% to record a rate of 12.1%. Acting government statistician Bawadier indicated the main price drivers for both food and non-food items.
The main price drivers for the non-food inflation rate were transport, for a figure of 23.1%, recreation and culture 20.8%, furnishings, household equipment and routine maintenance 20.6%, clothing and footwear 16.6%, miscellaneous goods and services 15.4%, and health 14.3%. The price drivers for food inflation were fish and seafood 12.7%, and meat and meat products 9.5%.
The 12.1% is the lowest inflationary rate since December 2013. Year-on-year inflation rate for imported items was higher than that of locally produced items.
In June 2017, the year-on-year inflation rate for imported items was 2.9 percentage points higher than that of locally produced items.
Food inflation was 6.2% in June compared to 6.3% in May. Non-food inflation was 15.1% in June compared to 15.8% in May. The acting government statistician explained the possible impact of the new 3% VAT flat rate on inflation.
In June, the flat rate had not taken effect, so we don't have its effects as I talk now in terms of the figures we are reporting for June 2017. Let's see what happens when we report on July, whether that effect will reflect in the prices and the subsequent CPI.
Upper West region recorded the highest year-on-year inflation rate of 13.1%, followed by the Greater Accra region with 13%, while Upper East region recorded the lowest inflation rate of 8.6%.
Well, that's all for business, but we have international news and entertainment shortly.
There are lots of amazing stories out there. What we do on News 360 is to bring to you the most compelling news by teasing out the right pieces that bring the stories to life. My job is to present to you the news in the most gripping manner and asking the critical questions that bring out the needed detail out of the stories. My name is Alfred Akansi. Join me on News 360, Monday through to Friday, 7 p.m. on air and online only on TV3.
When the news breaks, reporters and anchors broadcast it. Analysts will talk about the impact of this on society. But current affairs will set the agenda for policymakers to implement it. This is what we do on Agenda. It's sharp, authentic, and hard-hitting. My name is Deborah Kwabla. Join us as we set the agenda.
Agenda now shows on Sundays at 3 p.m. only on TV3 and is supported by 3FM 92.7 Accra.
According to them, this is the second time that this has happened to people who live here. But for how long can they continue to endure flooding in these areas?
To make sure that Accra becomes the cleanest city.
Trials on the idea and then, of course, attack on public officers. I have no idea as to what
we get it to you first. This is TV3.
Now let's turn our attention to some news making rounds in the world of entertainment.
It appears the fuss about the leaked nude photos of Ghanaian actress Christabel Leke will not die down anytime soon. Several media personalities have added their voice to the issue. Prince David Osei posted a video expressing his disappointment at people circulating the pictures. He said, "It saddens my heart when I see people glorifying others' downfall, demise, shame and struggle. I'm not happy with people circulating Christabel's nude photos on social media. You don't know what she's going through, whether it's someone who has hacked her account or she's doing it herself. We cannot say. You can tell all is not going on well with the sister. So rather than circulating her pictures and insulting her, why don't we pray for her?" Gloria Safo, reacting to his post, said, "I support you 100%, bro. It's such a shame." Leader Forson also commented, "Thank you at Prince David Osei. It's important that we stick for each other whenever we can. This industry isn't easy. It can be any of us at any time. We need to learn to speak out more on these issues. So glad you've done this video." Christabel's nude pictures have since been deleted.
American gospel singer and songwriter Don Moen has finally reacted to rumors on social media suggesting his death. He took to his Twitter to post a photo of himself and his family having a rather good time. In a tweet, the singer uploaded a family photo of himself, his father, his own son, and 2 of his grandchildren, reportedly taken on Wednesday. His tweet read, "Celebrating 4 generations in Minnesota today. Here's a photo of my dad, son John holding Bennett, and me holding Luke. Love my family." This debunks rumors reported by an American medium that said the gospel singer had passed on after battling with stomach pain. The God Will Make a Way hitmaker, who has been to Ghana on several occasions for gospel concerts and other projects, was reported dead after a short battle with stomach pain early Wednesday, July 12.
And it's a wrap for this afternoon. Thank you so much for watching Midday Live. I'm Wendy Lai. Do have a lovely afternoon.